Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self love, self care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today's topics will be all about creativity. The self care assignment is coming from creativity. Your mindfulness moment is going to be about getting that brain engaged to be creative. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I'm Slate.
Okay, so we both work with children. We both like to engage those brains to be creative. So,
Our topic is going to be from boredom to boardroom. Engaging are you creatively? What are some things that you do to engage your kids? You had these kids been in class all day long. They tired.
Yeah.
They irritated when they come in and they see
And
you in
they
the
just
afternoon.
ate their afternoon snack.
And they just had that afternoon snack, which is all sugar and probably not very nutritious. And they see you, and here you come, you about to give them more work.
Yeah, and they definitely sometimes, some of them come in. So one of the things I do is we do the Right Life Declaration, where we do that together. And for one, there's a lot of affirmations in there. So I get them going with that. And they in there, I am enough. I'm more than what you think of me. So they're going through that. They do that. And then I ask them, how was their day? So they shooting off stuff. And that is intentional because I want that extra energy just thrown out there, that random energy just thrown out there. So we get through that, and then we start our topics, and we start going with it. We're going with it. So yeah. And another way I keep them engaged is we got a lot of bosses in that classroom.
I'm a boss. You will work out.
We got a lot of bosses in the third grade room, and so they have to have boss behavior, and they want boss checks, right?
Right.
So when they're actively participating and we're talking about stuff like today was showing a video that they can see themselves in, and then they listen to this poem and they can find themselves in it. So when they start engaging, we write on the board. Their name goes on the board. Typically, when your name goes on the board, it's bad behavior.
Right, that means you're going to call my mama.
That's right. No. Here, that means you showed up for work.
Okay.
You showed up. You're not just sitting here bored. You at the board meeting. You showed up for work, so your name go on the board. Now, when they start responding, engaging, and going for it, they get a check. So that's when you get those boss rewards at the end of the class. So that keeps them engaged because they want those checks. They want those boss rewards. So that's some of the things I do. What you do, Nikki?
Well, for me, I don't get to do it so much as now because what I do now is so much more focused because I have high school students. But having my fourth graders, and when I had kindergarten first and second graders, we colored. We would color in class. We did arts and crafts. I would have people walk in my room and they go, "You got these kids sitting down and they're quiet? How did you do that?" Well, first of all, I'm like, I study brain science.
I know that's right.
I got music playing. I have the lights dim. It's a calm atmosphere. I keep it calm on purpose.
Okay.
And then I always tell them, if you're louder than the music, that means you're too loud.
Okay.
And so that teaches them indoor versus outdoor voices. Because when we go outside for recess, we holler. And we holler on purpose. So they do get to practice what the difference is. But we would, I would buy stuff and we would do arts and crafts every day. We made slime. We would cook. And they look, people looking at me because I worked at the behavior school where they sent the kids with the worst behaviors. And so people would walk by my room and be like, "I can't believe you got this one. That he's sitting down and he's engaged. How did you do that?"
See, and we have like we're writing. So writing, you've been writing all day. They already bored. So once I was like, had a whole bunch of CDs at home. I'm like, let's see what we can do with these CDs. They look like, oh, what we gonna do with this? What we gonna do with this? Right. So it's something different. I always try to do something what they don't expect. So it's kind of like a shock value there. So they like, what we doing with it? So instead of just thinking poetry, now you got a CD here and you putting it in your book. What you doing with it? Now you got a mirror. Okay. So I try to keep them their imaginations going. And I'm constantly saying, what word is on your mind? Having them, they're always letting me hear words so we can create from that point to keep them engaged.
Now, have they figured out Because a lot of people say, well, I write poetry, but I can't rap. Or I can rap, but I can't write a poem. Have they cognitively figured out that a rap and a poem is the same thing?
And the older students have. I'm not so sure the younger ones are quite there yet. But because they're doing more free verse and other elements of poetry. Using alliteration, onomatopoeia, things like that. So I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to go back a little bit to where you talked about the music. Yes, that set in that scene, that helps too, because I know when we do just the free writes, I put on music as well, like a meditative music to kind of let them know now's the time where we chilling and thinking and focusing. We're not actually chilling, we focusing,
Right.
So yeah, that helps too.
And so do they ask you, why are you playing that weird music? Because
Yeah,
it's
and they
not
say,
what they're used to.
Yeah. And I heard that's stupid. What is that?
What is that? You don't got no.
And I just go shh.
Just listen. Let the what is it?
Yeah.
Remember that movie Kingdom Come? And she was like, "Let the sweet gum take effect."
Oh, I ain't seen it, but I like it. I'm gonna use it in the classroom. Let the
yeah.
sweet gum take effect.
Yeah, just chew the gum. Because like there's a scene where with Toni Braxton and everybody's like in an uproar and in a tizzy, and they looking at her and she's so calm and they're like, "How are you so calm?" And she says, "Sweet gum." They're like, "What?" So she gives her a piece of gum. She said, "Just let the sweet gum take effect." I was like, "Yes."
I like that, Lady Bounce. And use your words in a tizzy. Use your words. Come on now.
So me as me personally, I'm a creative person, but then when I run into people like you, or people who are able to really be creative and not be shy about it, and be out there and make money from it, I'm like, I look at that and I go, man, I guess I'm not creative.
You are definitely creative, definitely. So I'm gonna be talking to you after we get done. Like, hey, Lady Bounce, give me some of them ideas for his classroom. But yeah, the creativity is, for me, I think is definitely like it's a gift from the Most High God. All of us in this great mind, that's what we're here for. We're here to create.
Right.
So it's like endless. We always should be thinking of something to create. And you created a masterpiece for me. I'm honored. That's fried salmon. Okay. So I'm not creative in that kitchen. You talking about making tartar sauce, I'm sitting here like, yep, I'm gonna need that recipe. So yeah, we all got our creative gifts. So
now,
yeah,
I'm creative like with computer graphics and like making stuff and I'm crafty. Like in my classroom, I used to be like, man, I'm gonna get my Martha Stewart and B. Smith on today. And my assistant used to look at me like, I had a male assistant, and I swear he would look at me and be like, Jesus. And he would say stuff like, "Boy, I know you get on your husband's nerves." Because I was always like, I would be excited, like today we gonna toss the curriculum, we gonna color, we gonna paint, and he's like, Miss Webb, this is supposed to be for the kids. And I'm like, no, it's as much for me as it is for them. Like to take the day off.
Sometimes I think I am having the most fun because it's just something to be able to use your imagination, especially with young people, because they got ideas popping all over the place.
Right.
And we in this room full of Generation Z kids with 8-second attention span.
Right.
You can't just be standing up here writing, we're gonna do this poem today.
Oh no.
They popping out ideas. Somebody hollering chicken and we talking about our skin color right now. All right, okay, look, fine, let's use that chicken.
Exactly.
How dark is your skin, and how can we make it good? Okay, they talking about your skin, you black and greasy. No, baby, I am shined, polished, crispy, fine. All these things.
Right, but
so we use it.
It's ways that they don't think about because they're not allowed. Because so often sometimes on purpose, a lot of times by accident, we shut them down. And we tell them what to think versus teaching them how to think.
And that's one of my biggest pet peeves, and I'm so grateful to be able to be working with the students and collaborating with the schools in this way, because the traditional ways of learning are so I mean, tried and true, sure, but it can be boring. It can be repetitive to have them repeating this, like having them do the declaration every day over and over and over. Well, there's affirmations in that, and that's good, but at the same time, allow them to be creative. Allow them to use their imaginations. Allow them to use their mind. Allow them to go outside.
Go outside
and explore and touch grass and mud, and let's talk about this. I mean, it's so much that we could be doing. There was a TED Talk I heard about maybe a couple months ago where the teacher took kindergarten students, I believe it was, outside as the playground was supposed to be being built. Construction was delayed. They went out there, they found rocks and fossils, and they created their own museum, and they had this huge exhibit. I think she said 80% of her entire curriculum for the year was covered in that one day of exploring and learning. Wow. Just by letting them get outside, be creative, and use their imaginations. And they were able to learn so many things and hit so many key target marks.
And again, that's because we talk all the time about the difference between a true teacher and a true educator versus somebody who does it just for the sake of doing it, or it's just a job. Those true teachers, those true educators, they find those creative ways to get the curriculum in there. You can have fun. The kids can have fun.
Yeah.
You need to have fun in your classroom. They need to be able to have fun. Because of all the mandates from the state and the federal government and all of these things that you cannot control that have to happen in your classroom. It doesn't mandate how those things happen. Okay. It just says they have to happen.
So you think they need to create more into their curriculum, or they need to write fun into their curriculum?
You need to create lessons. Here's the standard. This is what you got to teach. Okay. This is what the law says you have to teach. But the law doesn't say how you have to do it. So if your standard, for example, is that you're going to teach rhyme and alliteration, do we have to do it by reading this old dusty book? Or can I find an a cappella song and slow it down, and we snap out, we clap out a different rhythm than the way that the song is made?
Exactly. Like making your phone, instead of ringing, it meows. That's what it does in the process.
Exactly. So in that moment, you've taught them it's okay to be me. It's okay to be creative. And maybe I didn't like the beat to that song anyway, and I can go home and say, Mama, guess what I did today? Yeah. That's what you want kids to do that. When parents pick their kids up from school and they go, what did you learn today? And the kid says nothing. Or what'd you do today? And the kid says nothing. And you accept that answer, that's a problem, that they don't have a better answer. Yeah. So when the opportunities are given, or created, if you will, then their answers become different when they come home. Yeah. Now, for high school kids, that's a little bit different because everybody's just focused on graduating. And they don't really care about the fun piece necessarily.
They just want to do the work, get it done, and get going.
But they want it to be interesting work, too. They want it to be meaningful to them. But it's not like in elementary school where you have to build that fun in. You have to, because if you don't, that's why our dropout rate is so high, because by the time they get to high school, they're done with memorizing and regurgitating the same facts, the same information, the same old boring way. I mean,
and the sad part about it is, what I've seen, I applaud teachers. I applaud you. Man, because it's a task, and I'm used to just being free and loose and creative, and so many times I've seen almost like the children are programmed, and they're kind of what seems fearful to be loose and be free in that way. Like, here's your time. They're giving us permission to be free and create here. Here's your time. So they're slow to warm up to that process, but I applaud you, teachers, to design a curriculum, to get the lessons in. I applaud it. And I'm equally happy when you embrace inviting creative approaches to teaching and learning. So yeah, let's stay creative. Yeah.
So you talked about a little bit about the mantra that your students recite every day, and I think that is incredible. Mantras are fabulous. I think the mantra that you have for your kids is probably the best one that I've heard.
Wow, thank you.
Because it says to them, I have value just being myself.
Yeah, so they say, I want to say, because I didn't say it in its entirety. So it says, I am enough. I'm more than what you think of me. Ask me how I know, because my thoughts, they help me see. I am the only, and they say, extraordinary me. I am a legend. Creating a legacy. And this is my favorite part when they say, and I believe in my destiny. And I have them say that twice.
Right.
Because I want them to know you're not talking about just right now. You're not creating for just right now. You're not here for just right now. You have a future. There's so much more. Right. There's so much more to you. You are a living legend. There is no other you. And I want them to know that, and I want them to hold firm to that. Yeah, I really, really do. And once that is there, then they have a little more confidence. Like, come on, let's do this thing. Let's do this. And you let them know that their words have value. Their words have power. Their imagination is the most powerful thing that they possess. That they can think over certain situations. We had a group of kids last round, where there was so much darkness and despair, and they came up with this entire concept that we are the light. The light is inside of us. They turned some sticks. We took some sticks in the room and some rocks and these things, and they built a poetry. Okay, so it's like, so just let them be creative.
You have to,
go through
because
that with them.
so many times in their personal lives, they are shut down. They are, how grandmas used to say, be seen and not heard.
See,
only in our era, to be seen and not heard meant you could be here, but you dare not join in adult conversations.
And don't be all in it. Eating the words out their mouth. You can't do that.
Or, don't speak unless spoken to. But the problem nowadays is that these kids aren't being spoken to. So they never get a chance to say anything back. So you think about the kids that you have every day when they come in and they recite this mantra that has so much meaning to them. After they've had a whole day of being stifled, shut down. We don't have time for that. We got to do this. The curriculum has to move. We got to do this. We got to do this work. And sometimes teachers lose sight of the fact that they're teaching children. Like if you go into a room of teachers and everybody stands up like it's an AA meeting. My name is James and I teach reading. My name is Chrissy and I teach math. And whenever they come to me, I go, my name is Mrs. Webb and I teach children with special needs. And they kind of look at me and they like, what is that about? I don't teach a subject. I don't teach reading. I don't teach math. I teach children who have deficits in various areas. And I know I know this. I went to this one training a couple years ago, and the lady looked at me and was like, "You could have just said what subject you teach." she was like upset about it, and I'm like, I believe that words have power.
They do.
And so I'm not gonna stand up in a room and say, I teach math, I teach reading.
Yeah, that's just like today when they were doing their I ams. They were writing through, and one student just said, I am a girl, simple like that. I was like,
that's all?
What? I said, ask me what I am. Please ask me what I am, because I am ready to tell you. I was like, I am the moon. I am a butterfly. I was like, I am majestic. And I was like, you might not see that.
Right.
That's what I want to see from you. I want to see you, not what I'm looking at physically. Tell me with these words, what's inside of you that nobody gets to see.
Right.
Write it here. And that's one of the things that I let them know coming in, is that I'm there to create with them. Let's create together. We can create. I am a creative.
Right.
So I'm like,
you are indeed.
And I said, I feel like the best way for you to learn this art form is by doing it. So let's create and do it. And that's the best way to show them the beauty of poetry and the power of their words is by actually allowing them to do it, without all the technicalities and all the technical stuff first. Like, more about stanzas in that first.
We'll get that part later.
Right.
Okay, so as we wrap up our whole talk about creativity, this was fantastic. This is definitely something that we can, because we are creative and we do believe in our children.
Absolutely.
We could talk about this for hours and hours.
And the kids are the original. They the best right now. Those little imaginations, come on now.
They are, and they are lucky that they have somebody like you every day that comes in,
and you as well,
allows them to do that. To say, hey, when I see Miss Lake come in the door, I know I can turn off Michael and I can be Mike.
Come on, yes.
And she accepts me for being Mike.
Come on,
because
Mike
has
paper.
value.
Mm-hmm.
TT is all right.
Yes.
I gotta be Tatiana in class. But when I come to see Miss Slate every afternoon, I already know I can be whoever I am.
I'm grateful for that.
I can breathe. I can untuck my shirt and let my little stomach hang out. I can do that.
Oh yes, I even uncovered and let them see how creative my hair was. Absolutely.
So for today, we're gonna switch up the order a little bit. We're gonna do the mindfulness minute first, and then I'm gonna give the self-care assignment. So you can do the mindfulness minute.
So the mindfulness minute, this is good, because y'all know I believe in painting life in color with words. So as a kid, you probably spent hours coloring with markers, crayons, and colored pencils. You would try to be very careful to stay inside the lines. Coloring can still be fun and relaxing as an activity. Go out and buy your favorite coloring tool, whether it's a 64 pack of crayons, thin markers, or colored pencils. Pick up a coloring book as well. Spend the afternoon coloring away. You won't have to worry about staying inside the lines now. So that should take the pressure off. Go ahead and paint your life in color.
And so with that, I was out at the store the other day, and I picked up this awesome little book. And it says, Color Yourself Zen, Postcards. It's 50 tranquil passages to color and share. And in this book, there's really great pictures, and you can color them, and then you can even put a little note and somebody's address and a stamp and send it in the mail, which I got this because I have a student who's currently incarcerated, and I have a friend whose son is currently incarcerated, and every week I drop them something in the mail.
Good stuff.
So it's usually just a card or just a little something that says keep your head up. Somebody on the other side is thinking about you. And for my friend's son, I often I let them both know you made a mistake. But this does not define you. This doesn't have to be your life. You're going to get past this. And then for my friend, the mother, I send her something every week as well, because it's got to be rough for her. Her other two children are grown. Her baby is locked up. So she's alone every day. She just has her cat. And she makes jokes about being the crazy cat lady. So I try to keep her encouraged and keep both of them encouraged as well. So I'll definitely be.
I applaud you on that, because a kind word goes a long way, and a handwritten message, my God, come on with it.
I know. I handwrite it and I mail it.
Remember, this is why we want you to fly with us. We want to keep the lines of communication open. And Lady Bounce taking it a step further with a simple note card, a postage stamp, and she's going to go on a journey to the mailbox.
To the mailbox, and I do, and I know, and people look at me like, you mailing a letter?
Yes, exciting.
I'm like, yes, I do. I do it every week because I just want them to know I'm thinking about you.
That's beautiful.
Somebody's thinking about you.
That's beautiful.
I got your back, even if you don't think so.
And if you use these, you're getting your therapy too. Color.
Right. So I'm gonna get my therapy on color, and I'm gonna drop them in the mail. So with that, your self-care assignment for this episode is also dealing with being creative. It says set aside 1 hour. Now I know an hour seems like a lot. Do 30 minutes. But after the day's chores are done, turn off the television and turn on your creativity. If you have children, fantastic. Let them join you as well. If you're working with kids, before choosing your craft, please consider the ages involved and base your choice on difficulty, safety, and time constraints for short attention spans. You can go online and get crafty ideas. You can visit a craft store like Michael's or Joann's for hands-on inspiration and to pick up supplies you will need. Please remember, the point of this activity is to have fun. Have fun. So ignore the pictures of how the craft is supposed to turn out and have a good time. Use your imagination and let the craft take on your personality and preferences. I used to tell my students all the time, there is no wrong way to be creative.
Oh, come on.
And my second graders would go, oh, I messed up. I got to throw it away. I want to start over. No, there's no wrong way to be creative. Everything you do is right.
Something similar. Maya Angelou said, you can never run out of creativity. Like, you can't.
I like that.
Yeah. So these are good.
I like that. So we'll move on to our brain science. You know, I had to get it. I had to. So this brain science is going to talk about generating ideas.
Okay.
So a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not creative. I can't think of anything. I can't think of what to do." I'm going to give you 5. Oh, yes. So I'm going to give you 5 concrete steps to get your brain to generate new ideas. So, James Webb Young, no relation, says an idea is nothing more or less than a new combination of old elements. The capacity to bring old elements into new combinations depends largely on the ability to see relationships. The habit of mind, which leads to a search for relationships between facts, becomes of the highest importance in the production of ideas. So here are 5 ways. You ready for this? 5 ways to train your brain to generate new ideas. Step 1. Gather your materials. Whatever you're going to work with that you're going to use to be creative. Step 2. Analyze those materials. Just look at them. Touch them.
Check them out.
Play with them. Be mindful in what you're touching. Is it smooth? Is it rough? What is the texture like? Does it have a smell? Because like clay has a smell.
It does. It stinks.
Step 3. Let your subconscious process the information. Step 4. Uncover connections between the materials. This is when you
I like that.
Yeah, this is when you get the aha moment. Like, I got it. This is what I'm about to do. Step 5. Critique your idea. Now, this does not mean be extra hard on yourself. Like,
be gentle with yourself, as my mentor said.
Yes. Be gentle with yourself. Use kid gloves, if you will. And then it also says, at first, it's going to take hard intellectual work, but be consistent in your above methods, and eventually it will become a habit.
Yes.
The habit of your mind is the best way to produce new ideas.
Come on now.
So with producing those new ideas, make sure that you are checking us out. We are on Facebook. We are on SoundCloud. We are now on YouTube. If you follow us on Facebook, then you would know that there's a new episode posted every week. And a new self-care assignment every single day. Every day. And those self-care assignments are simple. Like today's self-care assignment was to just stop and eat your lunch. Don't have a working lunch. Enjoy your lunch. Put work to the side for however long your lunch is. If it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, stop and eat.
Lady Bouncer, take time. Chew your food.
Let's
savor your food. Enjoy that time. So let me see. So I'm going to share this poem regarding my creativity in the process really quick. I don't write to eat. I feed myself words of strength, beauty, wisdom, and common sense. I write to breathe. Therefore, I am able to live again and again, reinventing myself with each new breath. You see, that's the beauty of life and humanity. Each can be recreated, becoming anew as does the rays of morn every breaking day. Confidence allows me to question the arrogance of nightfall. Consequently, it strengthens my vision to create. Still, I remain refreshed and ready to partake in the newness of revival, radiant and glowing, all the while knowing just how close I really am to living. I am a creator.
All right.
That's that piece. Y'all be creative.
Be creative. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Fly With Us.
Thank you for flying with us.
And remember, first
love yourself.
Because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
I know that's right. Drink up.
Drink up. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.